It's a 37-yard field goal, the biggest in school history. Can you imagine?
I said it's gonna come down to me. Saying gets twice as loud, and all I could hear is my heart.
Field goals are never just about the distance traveled or the path taken. They also require focus and fortitude, poise and perseverance. For Tarleton State kicker Brad Larson, those qualities were developed very early in life.
The day he was born was amazing. He was born completely healthy and just beautiful. His dad was super excited. He went and got him a Green Bay Packer outfit as soon as we found out that it was a boy.
He was my first son. I just remember just being so happy to, to have one daughter and one son, just knowing that, one day him and I are gonna be playing sports together, watching sports.
But those plans were almost immediately interrupted when Brad was 4 weeks old.
He was still in our room in the bassinet next to the bed, and I heard like a sniffly sound and looked down, and he had blood. He had a bloody nose, which that was alarming.
Something was blocking the air passage, and so he ended up having a surgery to clear the passage. And the doctors told us it should stop bleeding by the end of the day, and it really never stopped bleeding 100%.
Our pediatrician was out of town at the time. I would call and talk to the nurse, and she'd be like, well, there's always an explanation, right? And I just had a gut feeling that it wasn't what they were thinking it was. The day that our pediatrician got back, I showed up about 5 minutes before the office closed, and he took one look at Bradley and said, let's walk on over to the hospital.
Brad was immediately admitted to the University of Kentucky Children's Hospital and diagnosed with acute megakaryoblast leukemia, a very rare type of blood cancer that attacks the bone marrow's ability to create healthy cells and can severely affect growth and development.
It's kind of like a parent's worst nightmare. Doctors told us survival rate was around 25%.
We were told to get our affairs in order, spend as much time with them. Don't take any moment for granted. We had several very scary days. There was one day his platelets got so low and he just started bleeding out, and I thought that was gonna be, his time. I just had to be strong, because he needed me to be there for him.
3 rounds of chemotherapy every day. They were taking blood. Usually on the weekends, we'd watch football together. We celebrated our holidays in that hospital room. We had Halloween, and I remember Stacy got him a Superman costume, and I thought that was very fitting.
After spending 17 weeks in the hospital, Brad went into remission at 6 months old and was allowed to go home.
One day they came in and said that they couldn't detect the blast in his bone marrow anymore. They were so careful to what they said. They didn't want to ever give me a false sense of hope. I really believe they thought we were going to come back.
The doctor said, now, I want to just kind of level set your expectations, with all the treatment he had. He's not gonna be your athletic kid, and he may struggle a little bit, academically, but, we're just obviously just very happy that he was alive.
Bradley, did you find a pumpkin?
Within weeks of returning home, Brad doubled his weight, and despite the doctor's concern about his development, he continued to hit one growth milestone after another.
The doctor tells you he's not going to be athletic, but it doesn't mean he can't play sports, right? So he started playing soccer when he was 3 years old, and you could tell he had something special. I was just happy that he was out there kicking a ball, but he could run faster than everybody, he could dribble faster than everybody. I just remember watching him and just saying, wow, this is not normal.
Gave me an outlet. I made a lot of trips to the hospital after the aftermath for checkups, like twice a year, and I dreaded it. I was scared that the cancer was gonna come back. I mean, that was a big fear of my childhood. I would cry at night, I'd cry in the shower, I'd have bad dreams. But you play sports and you step foot on the field, you're not worrying. You're having fun, having a good time with your team.
It really kept him busy and took his mind off of things. And I mean, when we say like he played sports, he poured himself into sports.
By the time he reached high school, the family had moved to Texas, and soccer had been replaced by football and a new purpose. Brad partnered with Alex's Lemonade Stand, a charity dedicated to fighting childhood cancer.
In high school, we'd be on the bus going back to our facility, and I just can't wait to get on my phone and put how many points I scored that game, because the money's in pledge amounts. It means the world to me. Because I know that my parents struggled during that time. I know it was very hard for them. And I just know how much that would mean to families.
In 2023 and 2024, Brad continued to raise money while leading Division II Angelo State in scoring before transferring to Tarleton State for his final season.
My dream was always to go play at the Division I level. I just wanted to see if there was a better opportunity out there for me.
The Army game was on a Friday night. Wednesday morning, he called me and said, "Dad, I'm doing the kickoffs and the field goals and the PATs." And knowing that he was going to be the starter playing against Army at West Point on national TV, I mean, that was what he's worked his whole life for.
The senior transfer from Angelo State, Brad Larson from Prosper, Texas. Here we go to shock the nation. And it is good! Tarleton State takes down Army. What a moment in program history.
In one moment, the boy who was never meant to play sports delivered Tarleton State's biggest win ever.
I went straight to my family. My dad was he was electric. I could just see my mom just bawling. That was my favorite moment.
It was kind of hard not to have in the back of my mind what those doctors had said to us all those years ago. He's not going to be your athlete. He's not going to be your superstar. I thought of just how special it was to be there and what a miracle he was.
I think about my journey a lot, having almost a constant pressure in your life, on the field, off the field. All that leads up to where I'm at now. The fact that I am here, that God has put me on this earth, I feel like that it's for a reason.